that one. 2010-0366, Parish President remarks. Mr. St. Pierre.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had the pleasure of serving as the judge for the recent United Way Battle of the Paddle. Congratulations to all the teams that won, and thanks to all those who participated. Because of the record 80 teams that participated, United Way raised over $20,000 in that one day. The 2010 winners for the Battle of Paddle were the mechanics from Entergy, Waterford 3, putting in the roof from Valero, St. Charles, Gumbalack from Valero, St. Charles. Gumbo was school dues, St. Charles Parish School System, civil construction contractors from Civil Construction, Bayou Bridge from Motiva. People's Choice Awards was for the Gumbo, GIX Monsanto, Jambalaya was from St. Charles Public School. I think Renee's got some pictures up there. The third series of community workshops, as we're talking with Sylvia and John, we're talking about tonight, for the 2030 comprehensive process will be held November 8th through the 10th. The planning team will hold 5 identical open house workshops throughout the parish. All citizens are welcome to attend. Just to let you know, after the presentations Sylvia and John made, we met with them today. I want everybody to keep in mind, even the parish people, is that this is a plan that's going to probably be implemented 20 or 30 years from now. We're working toward it. And during our budget process, in conjunction with that, we need to make some changes to our planning and zoning regulations. So Kim's going to be asking for some money to put in the budget to help move that process along. The St. Charles Parish Economic Development and Tourism recently received an honorable mention for excellence in economic development for the marketing video, The Best of All Worlds. How many of y'all saw that video? None of y'all saw it? Well, we're going to have to show that. Renee, make a note of that. We have to show that, okay? The video took honors in the category of general purpose promotion for communities with populations of 25,000 to 200,000 in the International Economic Development Council. We had our fall info tour, which was held on October 15th. We had about 10 people showed up to tour important sites on the West Bank, such as pumping stations, the wastewater oxidation pond, waterworks, and more. The next tour will be held on Saturday in the spring. Please stay tuned to Channel 6 and our website for more information on the upcoming tour. As Marilyn and them said tonight, the St. Charles Historical Foundation is currently holding book signing for their new book, St. Charles Parish, A Pictorial History. The book signing authors are Joan Becknell, Susan Freelou, Marilyn Rishu, and Fair Loop will be on hand to sign the books. I think $20 is well worth it for the book, because if you look on page 213, there's a beautiful portrait of a young man as parish president. That alone should be worth $20 fee for the book. On November the 9th, on Tuesday, November 9th, we'll be hosting our Veteran Day luncheon beginning at 10:30 at the Jerusalem Temple in Destrehan. All veterans are invited to attend. We'd like to mention that all veterans are to attend. Last year we had over 500 people that showed up, and we had to turn people away because the fire marshal won't let you get so many people in that building. So we like to accommodate everybody, but we want the veterans to have the first shot. So if you want to come, please RSVP to VJ Events at gmail.com or call 783-5182. International Mortex is seeking an additional $200 million in bond financing. The International Mortex terminal is seeking $200 million in bonds to expand the bulk liquid storage facility in Geismar and St. Rose. This is good news for our parish. As you know, the sales tax has been dwindling, and we're glad to see that we have another expansion coming up. Today, members of the Public Works Department and I met with the Union Pacific Railroad, Mr. Drew Tesser, who is the Director of Public Affairs, and Mr. Paul Rathenberg, who is an International Public Projects Manager. As you know, it's been taking us anywhere from 4 to 6 months to get these permits for jack and bores, and we sat down with them for almost an hour, and they said they're going to try to dwindle the process down from 6 months to 90 days, so we're excited about that. There was a lack of communications of some of the things that we're doing, and a lack of communication of some of the things that we're doing. Now I think we're on the straight path. We know what both of them expect from one another. The Federal Home Loan Bank of Dallas is pleased to announce that it has awarded $50,000 affordable housing program grant to the families resources of New Orleans to assist 5 very low-income home buyers in St. Charles Parish. The AHP grant was awarded through Whitney National Bank, a FHLB Dallas member institute in New Orleans, Louisiana. The funds will be used to reduce the lot cost for the home, which in turn will mean a lower monthly mortgage to the homeowners. St. Charles Parish, one of the wealthiest parishes in the state, which gives low-income families very few opportunities to become homeowners. Executive Director of the Family Resources of New Orleans. For those families that reside here, the only opportunity they have for home ownership is to buy a mobile home, and because it is in a hurricane area, we know that it will not meet the long-term needs. So 5 families will be getting money to buy homes. Latest on the update on the Hurricane West Bank Protection Levy. On September the 6th, the DNR issued their wetland value assessment calculations of wetland impact for the Willow Ridge levee. On the 24th of September, 2 property owners sent a letter of intent regarding mitigation to the DNR requesting 1 site mitigation. The landowners now have a responsibility to author a conceptual mitigation plan from DNR's consideration. If they do not agree with the parish's proposal mitigation plan, to buy credits from a mitigation bank as they have indicated. On September 29th, GCR officially requested the Corps wetland value assessment calculations. The Corps on the 30th advised that the mitigation requirement letters included the WVA calculation would be forthcoming. On October the 7th, GCR was informed by the Corps the WVA calculation has been completed by the permit sections and we're awaiting approval by the mitigation section. GCR has allowed up to 4 to 5 times. GCR followed up 4 or 5 times over the last 2 weeks regarding the Corps' mitigation requested letter. Latest follow-up was October 15th. We still didn't get an answer. After receiving the Corps' WVA requirements, GCR will provide the DNR and the Corps the formal plan to buy the required credits from the Upper Bayou Falls Mitigation Bank for all impacts of the project. Mitigation banks include all environmental justification for electing to use Upper Bayou Falls Basin based on the following environmental considerations. Both the impact and the mitigation banks are located in the coastal zone. Both are subject to natural title exchange, and the Upper Bayou Falls more closely replicas the wetland functions, being lost than any other bank because it offers in-kind replacements in similar hydraulic conditions. GCR has completed the mitigation plan and environmental justification. It is prepared to submit it within 2 to 3 days of receiving the Corps' WVA calculations. If the Corps approves the permit environmental justification for the Upper Bayou Falls, then both the Corps and DNR will be releasing the permit. There's an election. There's a very important constitutional amendment coming up on November the 2nd, that will help the parish out. We can't ask the citizens to vote for it, but we can ask them to tell them that it would enhance our possibilities of getting more money. Right now, through the department, this is not a new tax. It is a redistribution of the existing sales tax. Right now, all of the money comes in through the Department of Natural Resources. The state gets 80%. The parish gets 20%. We haven't been receiving our full 20%. This year we got $750,000. If this amendment passes, we can get up to additional $500,000 more a year. So it's an amendment we should try to encourage I can't say encourage our citizens to vote for, but it would help our parish out in the long run. That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. St. Pierre.